The news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Tuesday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And we're starting off with a nice quiet morning so far.
Not too bad. We had a brief snow shower overnight, light coating or dusting of snow on the roads and cars.
Oh, pretty, right?
Yeah, just a little pretty of snowfall. We take a look outside at current conditions across the region. 31 degrees to 30 degrees in the Mohawk Valley, 32 in Hamilton. It depends on where you are. We are hovering right around the freezing point, which means that some of you, if you saw some snow, is already starting to melt. Either way, we had just a light snowfall pass over us. Let's recap the last 6 or so hours here. You can see that round of snow roll its way through, and so just a nice light coating on surfaces early today, especially in the lower elevations. For right now, though, it is pretty quiet. A live look at our traffic tracker at 5:01 this morning. So far, it is a pretty dry start out there. Yes, it could be some snow-covered side roads, but with the temperature so far the way it is right now, there should be little to no issues heading out to work early today. So what are we tracking? Well, our January thaw continues today and tomorrow. Tomorrow night, however, we are looking at a rain, snow, or a mixture, depending on elevation, in the overnight hours. And then we have a return to snow and cold later on this week. So we have a lot to get through over the next couple of hours here. But again, today, temperatures starting out in the low 30s, climbing into the low 40s this afternoon with some peaks of sunshine, otherwise a pretty quiet day. We are looking at some rain and even some snow potential tonight. I'll explain the impacts and what follows it straight ahead. Gary?
Thanks. Happening today, Governor Hochul is set to deliver.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Tuesday morning. Time now is 5:11, and we begin today with a look at your current conditions and your quick forecast in a minute. We dive into, again, what's going on outside right now. 30 degrees, cloudy skies, east-southeast wind of 3 miles an hour. Feels like 30 out. So a bit brisk, but not too bad temperature-wise. A decent lighter winter coat if you have one. I don't think you'll need anything that heavy today in terms of trying to stay warm. Now, when it comes to conditions expected the next few days, here is a quick look at our travel impact. So today, it is generally quiet. Your morning commute and evening commute, you should really have no issues driving anywhere you need to go, even throughout the entire day today. Tonight, though, we have a brief round of wet snow moving through the hilltops. But again, the key word there is brief. Wednesday, it's also mainly quiet. A few isolated sprinkles, but as we head into Wednesday night, that's when we start to see that wet snow begin to move in. On top of that, I mentioned we have some opportunities for some partial glimpses of sunshine. We can see it taking place right here. Not 100% coverage in cloud cover throughout the entire day today. In fact, in the early afternoon, our best bet before overcast skies return and remain pretty persistent over the next few days. Gary?
Thanks. A youth hockey stunt.
Omni, we got your back. The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Tuesday morning, everybody. Today we are looking at a pretty quiet one, but it's about as quiet as it'll be the next few days as weather turns pretty active starting tomorrow. Let's dive into it here. A look at the Ortho Battery Live radar. Things have quieted down from some overnight snow showers. It brought us a light dusting of snow across a lot of the area. A little more as you head farther north into the North Country. In terms of road conditions, you head out to work early today. A few minor slowdowns and some less traveled side roads, but the main roads, you should have no issues getting to where you need to go this morning. Now, although today we have a pretty quiet morning and afternoon, the main topic is a January thaw. We have one today. We have one tomorrow, a high of 40 Wednesday. But then things will start to cool right back down again to a more typical January. We're in the 20s and teens Thursday and Friday, in the 30s and 20s Saturday through Monday of next week. So I want to dive into the bigger picture because this is what's going to be taking place as we head toward the end of the week. So we have a cold front shifting south that's going to collide with a low pressure system coming in from the southwest. In that process, it's going to slide along the front, producing snowfall right here along that frontal boundary before exiting out to the north and east with some lingering snow showers throughout the day Thursday. So that's what's taking place in the atmosphere. Let's zoom in here to see what will take place here locally. So today, as you can see here, we will have some opportunities for some sunshine to peek out, and will be a generally overcast day. So enjoy the glimpses of sunshine when you see it. Then this evening, watch what happens here. A brief front rolls its way through. Some rain showers, maybe some wet snow in the hilltops. It won't last long enough to remind us that it is still winter time. Then tomorrow, it's pretty quiet and cloudy. Highs already climbing into the low 40s before a few light rain showers return to some wet snow. Watch those temperatures fall, and it's one of those scenarios we're going to go on the low end in terms of snowfall totals because we have these temperatures start out warm. It takes a lot of forcing in the atmosphere to cool those temperatures down to where we could see notable accumulations in lower elevations. So wet snow will fall, not a lot in the valley, and then we're going to have some lingering snow showers and colder temperatures by Thursday. So you can see here across a lot of the Northeast, this is generally where a lot of that snow is going to fall. You can see mainly an elevation-driven event. We zoom in here into the Mohawk Valley in the surrounding areas. You can see here again, elevation-dependent snowfall by 6 a.m. Thursday. Additional snow rolls throughout the day Thursday, but overall, this is not a very high impact, or I wouldn't warrant it being an alert day material. Then we have a cold Friday, cloudy skies Saturday, and a return to some snowfall again on Sunday with highs in the 20s. So we do have a couple quieter days here and there, but still we do have some snow, rain chances, wintry mixed chances. It's still that time of year, Gary.
Overnight 7-11. Look at that.
Yeah, look at that. We have pretty cold overnight.
Lucky Thursday, Friday.
Yep.
Eric, thanks. The time right now is 5:20. Still ahead of morning once again, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. If you're getting ready to head out the door, no snow, no rain, just a nice quiet morning out there, but will it last? Meteorologist Eric Gay joining us from the Weather Center. Hey there, Eric.
Hey, Gary. Good morning, everybody. We have a pretty quiet morning out there today. A live look at downtown Utica, where you can see some pretty clear roads early this morning. And aside from a brief round of snow that moved through overnight, you might have a light dusting of snow on your car this morning. Some of you budget an extra couple of seconds, do some quick brushing. The snowfall didn't really amount to much in the Mohawk Valley. Maybe some exceptions as you head up north in the North Country. Temperatures this morning, not too bad as well. We are in the 20s and 30s, so not terribly cold, but also just under the freezing point for a lot of areas. And the Yorkville Battery Live radar showing dry conditions right now. A reminder, this is what took place last night that brought us that fresh coating of snow, mainly north of Route 20. It came down at a pretty good clip here, but again, didn't last too long, and it exited as quickly as it arrived. Traffic tracker showing a couple minor slowdowns, but other than that, it is a pretty, again, quiet morning out there today. And a few main topics. Our January thaw continues today and tomorrow. We will have the potential for a rain, snow, sleet mix tonight, a brief one, and a better shot for it tomorrow night, however, and a return to some snow and colder weather to wrap up the week. So we're going to dive into all of that coming up in just a couple of minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. As Federal Reserve Chairman.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Tuesday morning. Our photo of the day today will be shown here in a second. First off, a quick update on the forecast. For those of you just tuning in this morning, temperatures not too bad out there early today. Conditions also not too bad. A light coating of snow from some overnight snowfall. That's really about it. In fact, our next shot of seeing anything falling from the sky will be this evening and tonight. Late this evening, I should say, and even then it's going to be mainly rain in the Mohawk Valley and a brief round of wet snow in the hilltops. So as we take a look at our photo of the day today, this one brings us to Schuyler. Shout out to those of you watching from Schuyler this morning, and a great photo right here submitted to us by Ken of an amazing sunrise. We were treated to a couple of them the last few days, despite the overcast skies we were accustomed to. We did have a few glimpses here and there of some nice morning twilight. So a shout out to Ken and those of you watching from Schuyler this morning. If you have a photo like this you'd like to showcase from your neck of the woods, send to WKTV.com/weather/pics. Your photo every morning brought to you by GPO Federal Credit Union. Gary?
Gorgeous pick right there.
Great shot.
Eric, thanks. Well, some scary moments for a group.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Time just turning 5:50, and this Tuesday, not too bad weather-wise, or at least impact-wise. A look at the Yorkville Battery live radar. Snow has ended. It's a quiet morning out there early today. Roadways, if you're heading outside, just a few minor slowdowns in less traveled areas, but after that overnight snowfall, things are already starting to dry up pretty good out there early today. So when it comes to temperatures, the main story today, we are in that January thaw for today and tomorrow. Highs in the low 40s. Following tomorrow, however, we're going to be entering a more January-like trend in the 30s, 20s, and in some spots, teens, with some snowfall potential as well. A better shot for it, especially following the end of this week and into next week. So let's dive into what's been making headlines here, at least in the Northeast the last few days, is this coastal storm moving its way up the coast. We have a cold front sweeping its way south, and we have a low pressure gliding right along it, providing us with the opportunity for widespread snow overnight Wednesday night into Thursday morning. That'll produce, again, a lot of snow along this line here, but a little bit less due to the fact that we'll be seeing temperatures fall from above freezing, which will cut down on any accumulations, at least major accumulations that we would usually see from these types of systems. So we look here in the Skycast. Again, today it's quiet, some peaks of sunshine. Other than that, this evening, a brief round of rain or wet snow, depending on elevation. You can kind of see what spots will see snow and rain right here. Then it dries up, and Wednesday morning, not too bad, already approaching the low 40s with a few sprinkles and rain showers, and then that cold air starts to work its way in. But we've seen this type of event before. It's very difficult for that above freezing temperature in the Mohawk Valley to fall below freezing at this stage here. So for the most part, we are looking at a generally elevation dependent system yet again in terms of wet snowfall accumulation. There's more snow that arrives Thursday, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. In the meantime, here's a look at that snowfall throughout the Northeast, Wednesday night into Thursday, and you can see for a lot of the Northeast, it is elevation dependent, largely falling in the Adirondacks. We zoom in here, you can see, generally speaking, until Thursday at 6 a.m. You wake up, this is the snow on the ground. You can see a whole lot less in the valley and a lot more, relatively, as you head up north of the Mohawk Valley. Then, of course, Thursday, we will see additional snowfall accumulation, some spots picking up by the end of Thursday, a little over 4 inches, or in some spots even more. Your 7-day forecast, we are ending the work week on Friday with highs in the teens, a little quieter, a bit breezy. Saturday, 33, Sunday, 26 with snow showers, and then on Monday for MLK Day, it's 22 with some cloudy skies. So it's still feeling very January-like. We're not looking at any major long-term warm-up, aside from at least the next couple of days.
And no major storms either.
Yes, just some light snow on Thursday.
That's good. Eric, thanks. The Boilermaker will open private
News with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Tuesday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And a nice quiet morning for you out there as you get ready to head out the door. No rain, no snow, but will that change?
Smooth sailing for much of the day today,
Nice.
Gary. We have a brief round of rain and snow tonight, but I don't think it's going to impact travel too much. A look outside as you head out the door. So far, as you can see here, roadways generally clear. Really should have no impacts on your morning commute. You might have to brush off some fresh snowfall off your car this morning, but that's really about it. We look around the state, temperatures hovering in the 20s and 30s, so even temperatures not too bad to start your day. You grab that typical winter coat. You don't need to bundle up extensively, and of course the kids, same story as well early today. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Live radar. Things have quieted down after a brief round of some moderate to heavy snow last night produced a nice coating, at least what I've seen across the area for the time being, at least in maybe an inch, maximum 2 across parts of the area overnight. And of course that has since ended. Roadways, as you can see here, generally clear. So again, your morning commute today looking pretty okay. So what are we tracking? A January thaw continues today and tomorrow. I also mentioned there's a chance for a rain-snow mix tonight as well as the possibility for it again tomorrow, but maybe a bit more impactful tomorrow night, because following that, we're going to see a return to snow and cold later on this week. So we'll have more on that coming up shortly. Again, today, it's more of a January thaw. Highs balmy in the 40s with mostly cloudy skies, a few peaks of sunshine. We'll dive into that forecast, though, in a lot more detail in just a couple of minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. Happening today, Governor...
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back, everybody. Time now is going on 6:12, and here is a quick forecast in a minute as you head out to work today, and you know what you need to expect heading out the door. Let's begin with the current conditions outside right now. Temperature 30 degrees with cloudy skies, relatively quiet. A light wind too, so the temperature feeling a little brisk out there, but a typical wintertime morning. In fact, I would say on the warmer side in terms of winter mornings out there, so not too bad weather-wise. With some snow showers that rolled through last night, you might want to budget a little bit extra time for a quick brush of snow off your car this morning, but it's not a lot. In fact, I think for a lot of spots, it's warm enough where that snow has already melted off the side of your car, so just as a quick heads up if you're heading outside early today. So when it comes to travel impacts, today it's relatively quiet. Yes, we do have an opportunity for a brief round of rain and wet snow in hilltops tonight, but impacts on the lower side. Wednesday is also looking pretty quiet, a little bit breezy, and we have some sprinkles and rain showers in the afternoon. But in the overnight hours, wet snow begins to form mainly in the higher elevations, and those highest impacts are expected. So we'll, of course, dive into that here shortly. But a quick preview in terms of sunshine, because I think at this time of year, if there's an opportunity for sun, I want to talk about it. And especially takes place today. A few glimpses here and there before overcast skies and damp conditions return again for the remainder of the week. Gary?
Eric, thanks. A youth hockey stunt like a halftime.
Omni, cutting-edge surgery without the cutting.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. On this Tuesday, we are tracking pretty quiet weather for much of the next few hours, with a brief round of snow and rain tonight and a better shot for it tomorrow. Let's dive into it, though. Live look at our radar. It's a quiet start to your day and a pretty quiet day in general. Roadways this morning generally clear as well. Only a few side roads might have some snow on them still. So when it comes to today's main topics, I will say the January thaw is probably one of them. Today's highs already approaching the low 40s this afternoon. Same thing for tomorrow. Then we get a return back to reality here for the rest of January, at least much of January here, back into the teens, 20s, and 30s, at least for the next few days following Wednesday. So while we look at the bigger picture here, here's what's taking place in the atmosphere starting tonight through tomorrow. We have a cold front starting to work its way in, and this will produce widespread light sprinkles tomorrow. But notice here, with that cold air working its way in, a low pressure center glides right along it, providing us with an opportunity for widespread snow. This is more of a coastal system here, but the one impact that prevents us from seeing major snowfall is that we're on the warmer side before the snow works its way in. Of course, that low pressure exits. We'll see some lingering snow Thursday, but regardless, let's zoom in here and see how things shape up here locally. So today we do have some opportunities for sunshine, as I mentioned yesterday, with some of those partial clearing skies taking place. Either way, this evening we're going to see the arrival of some light rain, even some wet snow in some hilltops north. Then it quiets down overnight. It's a pretty quiet start to your day tomorrow with warmer temperatures in the low 40s with a few sprinkles and rain showers, and then we start to see that cold air work in. At this point, it's already raining in some parts. So with that in mind, it's going to be very difficult for that snow to really accumulate once that snow really begins to work its way in during the overnight and into early Thursday morning. So that's when the brunt of the snow will be falling, with additional snowfall taking place throughout the day Thursday with some much cooler temperatures. So across the Northeast, as you can see here, this is a generally elevation-driven system due to that warm sector of air still influencing our local weather here. And so by Thursday morning, this is the expected snowfall, largely elevation dependent, a whole lot less in the Hudson Valley. And then, of course, foothills, the Adirondacks, maybe 4 to 7 inches. But for a lot of the area, we're thinking generally 2 to 4 inches with the exception of the very lowest locations. So your 7-day forecast, we have again that cool down Thursday night into Friday. And then eventually, Saturday, slightly warmer, quieting down briefly for the weekend. But so far, it's quiet today. And the main thing, aside from the warmth, Gary, is we could see a glimpse of that elusive bright yellow light in the sky.
We'll be looking for it today.
Yes.
Eric, thanks. Be sure to like us on Facebook. And thank you for joining us for this half hour. If you're getting the kids ready for the bus stop, not too bad of a morning. Eric, no rain, no snow. Kind of quiet out there.
Yeah, that's right. Only snow we saw took place last night. As we head throughout the morning, we're going to see conditions continue to improve. Right now, a live look at downtown Utica. It's a pretty quiet morning out there today. Temperatures in the upper 20s, low 30s. Not too bad out there temperature-wise as well. So when it comes to January mornings, this is about as quiet as you'll get and unimpactful as you get here. Yorkville Battery Live radar showing dry conditions. This was the scene overnight with that brief round of moderate to heavy snow rolling through the area. So that produced a light coating of snow on surfaces. You might have to budget a little bit extra time to brush some snow off your car, but not a whole lot of time early today. A few minor slowdowns in less traveled roads, but once you hit the main roads, it's smooth sailing. Roads are plowed, treated, salted, you name it. It's easy to drive on early today. So we are tracking that January thaw today and tomorrow. The arrival of a rain, sleet, or snow mix, depending on elevation, briefly tonight, and a better shot for impactful snow tomorrow night. Then, of course, following that, the return to some colder January-like conditions to wrap up the week. So today's conditions peaking in the low 40s with some clouds, maybe some peaks of sunshine here today. We'll, of course, dive into that all-important forecast for the rest of the week coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. As Federal Reserve
News Channel 2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery and Deli. This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to News Channel 2 at Sunrise. If you're just tuning in with us this morning, here's a quick recap of our forecast. Again, this morning it's relatively quiet. Temperatures in the 30s, not too bad out there. And we're not tracking anything impactful today, aside from a brief round of rain and snow later on tonight after sunset. So your morning and evening commute should have no travel impacts across the area. So our photo of the day today brings us to the town of Schuyler, and a great shot right here sent in to us by a viewer, Ken. And look at this shot right here, this colorful sunrise out in the distance. We were treated to a couple in the last few days, and still, this time of year, some of the cloudiest. So we get some glimpses like this. We'll surely take advantage of it too. We love the contrast there, the bright oranges mixed in with the darker hues of the snow-covered land there outside Schuyler. So, shout out to those of you watching from Schuyler this morning. If you have a photo like this you'd like to send to us, WKTV.com/weather/pics. Your photo of the day every morning brought to you by GPO Federal Credit Union. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Some scary moments for a group of skiers.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, buddy. Time now coming on 6:50, and we begin today with quieter weather. Brief round of snowfall rolled through last night, producing a light dusting of snow across the area. But for now, look at the radar. It's smooth sailing for much of the day today. No impacts weather-wise for pretty much the entire daylight hours today. We look at the roadways this morning. Again, a few minor slowdowns, but you should have no issues getting to where you need to go outside this morning. So while things look pretty quiet today, something else to mention too, it's going to be on the warmer side in the low 40s this afternoon today and tomorrow. In fact, tomorrow will be the warmest it'll be pretty much all week long. Some spots, isolated spots, getting into the low to mid 40s. Then we begin to cool down back to reality for January standards here in the 20s, teens, and 30s for the rest of the week and into the weekend. So this January thaw isn't lasting that long. So the bigger picture shows us a couple of things. We have a cold front approaching from the northwest, but on top of that, we have a low pressure gliding along that front, which is going to produce the possibility for widespread snowfall Wednesday night into Thursday. However, this will not be one of those extremely high-impact events that some nor'easters can produce, mainly due to the fact that we're on the warm sector of this. By Wednesday afternoon, we've got a lot of warm air near the surface. That's going to prevent a lot of that snow from sticking. But needless to say, this will likely be an elevation-based system as that low continues its way north, and we see some wraparound snow. That, the backside of this front, could produce some meaningful accumulation. But let's dive into it here. So today, it's pretty quiet. As I mentioned over the last couple of days, this is our best opportunity for some sunshine over the next few days. Though it's not going to be that widespread, still, a glimpse of the sun here and there is all you need to brighten your day. As we head into the evening, closer to 7, 8 p.m., a brief round of rain in the valley and some wet snow in the hills rolls through. It won't last that long. And before you know it, it's dry again. We're already approaching the low 40s by Wednesday morning into the early afternoon. A few light sprinkles, and then rain showers develop, and you can see that cold air starting to work in. Watch that rainfall slowly get engulfed into more wet snow. But still, you see these temperatures in the 30s. Realistically, it's very difficult for that snow to stick, at least at that point. But regardless, by Thursday, it's cold enough to where that snow will eventually begin to accumulate across the area. So, across the Northeast, this is the snowfall expected by Thursday morning, 9 a.m. We zoom in here locally, same story. Thursday morning at 6 a.m., elevation dependent. I think a lot of us will likely see maybe a coating, if that, where those lowest elevations see barely any, to as high as 4 inches in some spots. with isolated hilltops a little more. Then we have more snow continuing on Thursday. Then Friday looking quiet and cold, highs in the teens. Overall, feeling a lot more like January as we wrap up the week.
Yeah, look at that. A little bit of sun today, huh?
Yeah, a little taste of warmth too. High in the 40s, Gary.
Beautiful.
So not too bad.
Springtime.
Yep.
Eric, thanks. The Boilermaker will open now, and Eric, a nice dry day out there today, and that means the car washes are going to be busy, long lines.
I can see the lines from here, Gary. It's going to be very long today. And on top of that, we got some sunshine peeking out. Let's take a look outside, a live look at downtown Utica. I mentioned this morning we had the opportunity for some sun, and sure enough, here it is. It's not completely clear. We have some faded sunshine working in. This is about the best we're going to get today. But in the meantime, if you can see that ball of fire in the sky, that's all that matters. It's definitely going to improve some mood today, as usually wintertime on the cloudier side here in central New York. We still have some lingering clouds in the North Country. It's unfortunately not going to be that clear today north of the New York State Thruway. Temperatures, though, in the upper 30s, pushing 40 in Syracuse right now. So we have a January thaw continuing today. Starting to see some of that snow melt, producing some exposed grass out there today. Yorkville Battery Live radar, we're dry right now. We zoom out to our west. We can see the arrival of some elevated snow showers. We have the potential of seeing some sprinkles and snow showers in the higher elevations as early as this evening and through tonight. But you can see here in the Mohawk Valley, temperature's not falling that much. So I think it's going to be mainly rainfall in a lot of spots, with some isolated spots seeing some snow. Either way, we have another warm day ahead, and then we cool down with some snow chances. We'll dive into that, plus how this temperature trend will last toward the end of the week straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. In Minneapolis today, city and state officials.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everybody. Today we are looking at a pretty dry one out there with the possibility of some light rain and snow later on this evening. Let's take a look right now, though, at the radar and satellites. However, that rain and snow chance taking place mainly after sunset today. In the meantime, we have some sunshine peeking out, and overall, not too bad of a day out there. Temperatures already climbing into the mid to upper 30s, approaching the low 40s this afternoon. Same thing tomorrow. But then that January thaw will come to an end, and we're going to see more typical January-like temperatures toward the end of the week and beyond through the weekend. So what we're looking at in the bigger picture here is, of course, not only that light rain and snow chance this evening, but a better shot for widespread snow to Wednesday night into Thursday morning. And we have a couple things here. We have a cold front sweeping in from the northwest, and we have a low pressure system gliding along that cold front here. And that low pressure is going to surge some moisture right into that cold front, producing widespread snow. Now, the issue here in terms of seeing any major accumulation here locally is the fact that temperatures during Wednesday will be in the low 40s, and that'll cut down on snowfall, especially in those lower elevations. Nonetheless, though, let's dive into it here in our Skycast. So, as I mentioned, we have a few peaks of sunshine today, mainly faded sunshine, really about all we're going to see today, but it's better than nothing. We do have the arrival of some rain and snow mainly in the hilltop areas, rain in the valleys as we head into the evening after sunset. We're looking at a time frame of 7 to 9 p.m. tonight. Then it dries up. Overnight, we have a few flurries north. Overall, pretty quiet, though, for much of Wednesday morning. Rain showers begin to develop. We're at 43 degrees by noontime Wednesday. And then we're going to start to see those temperatures drop a little bit, and that snow starting to work in some of those higher elevations. It's going to remain somewhat mixed until we head overnights when the cold temperatures work their way in. But still, those temperatures in the mid-30s there, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of notable accumulation in those lower elevations. By Thursday, though, there's a better shot for it as we're down into the 20s and we have some lingering snow, lake effect snow on the backside of that system as it sweeps its way south. So we'll dive into that forecast for Thursday when we get to it. But at least when it comes to the weather, at least the snowfall until early Thursday morning, this is what you'll wake up to Thursday morning here. Not a whole lot in the Mohawk Valley, mainly focused in those higher elevations. So just as a heads up for the snowfall this next few days, Wednesday night into Thursday, the highest impact timing here. We're in the 20s Thursday with some stronger winds, teens by Friday, and then back into the 30s by Saturday, 20s by Sunday. We'll be right back.
Yes, now, and Eric, a nice quiet day and a bit warmer as well.
Yeah, warmer, quiet, even some sunshine,
Nice.
Gary. We take a look across the state right now. We have a few locations. Colebrook, looks to be Oppenheim, even Lawrence and Brookfield seeing some sunshine. Let's zoom in here. Of course, you can see, of course, your neck of the woods and whether you might be able to see some of that sunshine. Either way, you look out your window, not too bad of a day out there today. You got January thaw. Actually, I'm going to go back here for a second. It looks like Sherburne is completely lacking snowfall now. If I can, look at that right here. Wow. Completely bare ground in Sherburne. So I guess it's that time of year with that January thaw. Don't worry though, there's more snow on the way. So those of you who are snow lovers, it's not out of the book just yet. Downtown Utica, we're seeing a few more clouds roll in, but we do have some more opportunities for sunshine over the next few hours. Windows of clearing here and there. 37 with sun in Rome, 40 in clouds in Syracuse, and down to the mid-30s in Johnstown in the Mohawk Valley, and still hovering below freezing up in Saranac Lake. Live radar, pretty quiet out there so far early today. We zoom out, however, we have an approaching system bringing our next round of at least brief rain and snow in hilltops. So again, rain in the Mohawk Valley, snow in those higher of elevations. And the reason for that, we see here, temperatures not really cooling down that much tonight, remaining in the mid to upper 30s by around midnight, and then continuing to see another mild day tomorrow as that January thaw continues on. But it won't last forever. We do have a cool down on the way and some more snow chances toward the end of the week. We'll dive into that here in a couple of minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. New Hartford Police tell us today.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everybody. Not too bad of a day so far today. Warmer temperatures, that January thaw in full swing, and overall pretty dry with a few peaks of sunshine. We take a look at the radar and satellite, though. We have some active weather on the horizon. We're not expecting any major impacts from this because, of course, how warm the temperatures are right now. Once this system rolls through, we could be seeing at least a brief round of rain and a few wet snow showers in hilltop areas as we head into this evening and tonight. This mainly will take place around sunset. So that's the story of today. Of course, another main story, it's warm out. Temperatures upper 30s, low 40s. Tomorrow, it's another warm one as well. We're in the low 40s before we cool back down again toward the end of the week and for the weekend, even beyond that, into much of next week. So if you're a fan of warmer weather, enjoy it for now before winter makes its inevitable return. So we are looking in the bigger picture at a couple of things. The main thing, what takes place tomorrow night through Thursday, is a cold front moving its way in from the northwest. This collides with an area of low pressure, basically producing widespread snow in the inland portions of New England. See this line right here next to my hand. Inland, it's all snow. Out to this side, it's entirely dry. It collides with that front in the process, of course, produces snow mixing. Main thing is we'll be seeing some measurable snowfall here toward the end of the work week. Now, the big thing is when it arrives and how much we could see, for obvious reasons here, of course. But let's dive into it right here. So today, a few breaks in the clouds, peaks of sunshine before that system moves in, and we see a brief round of rain and wet snow in the hilltop areas. Then by tomorrow, it's a dry start. We're already in the low 40s by noontime, and then a few light sprinkles work their way in. Rain showers in lower elevations before that cold air works in, and it slowly starts to engulf the area in wet snow. Then overnight, it's going to be snowing, turning over to consistent, at least persistent snow off of Lake Ontario, with a higher chance of accumulation by Thursday afternoon, with temperatures down into the teens. Just as a heads up, it's going to be very cold following this frontal boundary on Thursday. So in terms of snowfall, as we head into Thursday morning, you wake up in the morning Thursday, not a whole lot, because the surface temperatures, mind you, are still in the 40s before we cool back down again. That warm air gets trapped, doesn't go anywhere. So a lot of melting taking place, not a whole lot of snowfall accumulation. The better shot for accumulation will be Thursday afternoon when that lingering lake effect rolls through. So it's a very complicated forecast. See all the different colors here? This is what we deal when we have elevation-based events, so largely dependent on location. 7-day forecast, cooling down Thursday and Friday. Saturday, 33, cloudy skies, lingering snow showers on Sunday. Heading into next week, still looking pretty cold. So we'll have the January thaw for now before the January cold returns again in just a few more days.
Yeah, that's for sure. But again, a little bit of sunshine today, so get out and enjoy it.
Yes, enjoy it.
And the warm temperatures. Eric, thanks. Well, Canada's Prime Minister...
6 with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
We're tracking some sprinkles, some snow showers out there this evening. Temperatures are above freezing, so this is not going to cause any issues on the roads. We're taking a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. 41 degrees is the current temperature. Again, our January thaw continues. The temperatures will be generally above freezing tonight and tomorrow. The big story, though, is the change that takes place this week, specifically tomorrow night and into early Thursday. We're tracking a return to snow. Rain and snow showers this evening. Again, not a big deal. Looks relatively light. January thaw continues tomorrow. Rain returns tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. It falls steady to heavy at times tomorrow night before turning over to snow, and that does produce some accumulation here heading into Thursday. Some colder weather to follow as we head into the end of the week. Temperatures this evening generally above freezing. Rain, snow showers. Tracking snowfall and snow accumulation. A look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. The last 10 former...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. Our January thaw continues tomorrow before big changes take place with a return to snow and colder weather as we head into Thursday. A live look at downtown Utica. Temperatures are above freezing, and we're tracking some light precipitation. It's taking the form of rain showers and snow showers. Little accumulation is expected. This is actually looking, I think, worse than what will actually be taking place this evening as a weak disturbance rolls through. Again, a live look at our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Tonight, again, rain and snow showers, the little impact on travel. Wednesday, rain returns in the evening. It becomes steady and it turns over to snow Wednesday night. This is when we're expecting some travel issues into early Thursday with widespread snow and slippery roads for the Thursday morning commute. Big changes in the first half of January compared to December. December was very much below average for the first 12 days. It's been above average for the first 12 days of January. In fact, January has started out warmer than December, which is very unusual because early December is a lot warmer than early January, at least in most normal years. Skywatchers checking in. Whitesboro 37 degrees, Mike and New Hartford 40, West Leiden 35, Norway 36, Jeff and Mohawk 35, Cooperstown 35, Skenevis, Gary with 40 degrees. A weak disturbance rolls through tonight. The weather dries out overnight. The next system arrives tomorrow evening. Again, that brings rain turning over to snow. That system is going to develop over our area, so it becomes steadier and heavier as it moves through. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast. Cloudy skies tonight. Overnight lows stay above freezing. We'll see cloudy skies tomorrow. Temperatures will climb into the low 40s. As we head into the afternoon, light rain showers are expected to approach from the west. Rain becomes steadier and heavier into the evening time, and then it does turn over to snow first in higher elevations and then into the Mohawk Valley throughout the evening Wednesday. Snow Wednesday night into early Thursday. Snow showers, colder weather to follow Thursday afternoon. The snow becomes lighter throughout the day. Wednesday night, early Thursday, a general 1 to 3 inches of snow is expected from Utica points east, west of Utica, Rome, Camden, Boonville, Old Forge, 3 to 5 inches of accumulation. It looks like the heaviest snow will be in western and northern New York, but we'll keep an eye on this if there's any last minute changes in the storm track that would obviously change where these amounts end up falling. But again, that's the general idea. And even another thing to point out, even a relatively small amount of snow, this type of snow, is still going to cause some traffic issues. Very slippery type of snow this time around. Cloudy tonight, low of 37. Tomorrow, rain develops in the afternoon. Temperatures in the low 40s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Snow Wednesday night to early Thursday. It does get cold and windy as we head into Thursday afternoon. We're down to the single digits. Friday only in the teens. Some light snow returns. Saturday we warm up into the low 30s, but it's generally cold heading into early next week.
All right, Bill, thank you.
Still to come on News Channel 2 at 6. Seaward Continent Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. Got some snow coming our way.
Yeah, we're expecting this to arrive tomorrow night. This could impact Thursday morning's commute. Doesn't look like it's a big accumulation, but it is enough to cause some issues here. Looking at a general 1 to 3 inches from Utica east, west of Utica 3 to 5 inches. And again, the start time of this is going to be tomorrow night. It starts out as rain, actually, before it turns over to snow. We are continuing to track mild conditions out there tonight. We saw a couple of sprinkles, a few flurries out there, but things look pretty quiet. So live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We're sitting at 43 degrees. It is very mild for this time at night, and this is also the warmest we've been all day. Our January thaw continues tonight through tomorrow. The weather starts out dry, and most of the day looks quiet, but we do expect rain to arrive heading into tomorrow afternoon, and this does turn over to snow. That snow is likely to accumulate here as we head into tomorrow night. Cloudy skies tonight, low of 37, tracking snow and much colder weather to follow. A look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. New tonight, Utica police say they charged a 14-year-old.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look in downtown Utica. The weather's looking pretty quiet tonight. Saw a couple of sprinkles out there earlier this evening, but things have dried out. And it's going to be pretty mild tonight. Temperatures will be above freezing, and we're going to continue to melt a lot of snow, especially in the lower elevations. It may not seem like a lot all at once, but it does add up over time. Again, things are looking quiet on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Tonight, rain, a snow shower early. Otherwise, it's a pretty quiet night. We're expecting rain to return tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. This does turn over to snow tomorrow night. Things look slippery, and then they turn icy as we head into Thursday, as it gets much, much colder Thursday afternoon. Dramatic difference in the way the months have played out, December versus January. It's been very cold the first 12 days of December compared to average, but it's been pretty mild the first 12 days of January. We are going to get some colder weather here inevitably, and it begins tomorrow night. Temperatures, again, generally above freezing. It's still 44 in Westernville and West Berlin, Deansboro 39, Otter Lake 35 degrees, across Southern Valley, Sherburne 40, Cooperstown 40, Oneonta 37. The next weather system is in the process of developing. It's going to come from a cold front that's going to move in from the west, and this is going to rearrange the weather patterns. We're going to get into something called a trough in the jet stream, where colder air is going to drop in and stick around for the foreseeable future here. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast tonight. Cloudy skies, overnight lows hold on to the upper 30s, so we'd stay above freezing overnight. It's cloudy to start tomorrow morning. It's pretty mild tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures climb into the low 40s. We do expect rain to develop later in the day. That rain turns to snow tomorrow night, and it turns into widespread snow heading into Thursday morning. It's going to be pretty icy Thursday as temperatures fall. We're going to drop into the teens with the wind chills because it's going to feel like single digits to below zero by later in the day. So much, much colder weather is expected later in the day. We actually fall into the single digits near zero Thursday night. In terms of snowfall, a general 1 to 3 inches from Utica east. West of Utica, 3 to 5 inches of accumulation. Not a big accumulation, but it is going to be enough to make things slippery, and it's going to be pretty icy here heading into Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening as it gets much colder. Cloudy tonight, low of 37. Tomorrow, rain in the afternoon, temperatures in the low 40s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Snow showers Thursday 26, Friday 19. The weather warms up Saturday, but in general, we are going to be in the deep freeze with temperatures in the 20s heading into early next week. No big snowstorms on the horizon.
Yeah, those overnight lows look a little chilly.
Not negative, but yeah, pretty cold. Yeah.
I guess there's a silver lining
Well,
somewhere.
yeah.
All right, thanks, Phil. Coming up next, held in forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis talking about snowfall coming our way, and this is tomorrow evening.
Tomorrow evening is when it begins. It starts out as rain. It switches over to snow. We're expecting a couple of inches of accumulation by Thursday afternoon. Very icy here Thursday as temperatures drop very quickly. We're going to be in the teens for a good portion of Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. So there will be some issues here, even if it's not a lot of snow locally. Temperatures are still above freezing. In fact, we take a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It's pretty quiet across central New York. We're still sitting at 42 degrees, cloudy skies, light breeze. We'll stay above freezing heading into tonight. We're tracking a January thaw. That continues tonight, tomorrow. Rain arrives tomorrow afternoon. That rain turns to snow as we head into tomorrow night. We could be tracking some pretty icy conditions here heading into Thursday. Cloudy skies tonight. Temperatures will stay above freezing down to the upper 30s. I'm tracking, again, snow and much colder weather ahead. Look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. New tonight, Utica police say they...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look in downtown Utica. Pretty quiet night. Temperatures are above freezing, actually well above freezing. We're still in the 40s in a lot of places tonight, and that means we're going to start out tomorrow morning pretty mild. The thaw continues. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. All is quiet across central New York. Travel impacts as we head into the next 24 hours. We could see a sprinkle tonight. That's about it. Tomorrow, rain develops in the afternoon. This rain turns to snow tomorrow night, and it looks like we're going to be dealing with this early Thursday. Also very icy and much colder Thursday afternoon as temperatures continue to drop. A much warmer start to January compared to December. December was much colder than average and colder than the stretch that we've had for the first 12 days of January. We've had this, what seems like a perpetual thaw, but this will be coming to an end as we head into tomorrow, and it ends tomorrow night. Temperatures are above freezing, well above freezing. Westerville 43, Westmoreland 43, Deansboro 39. Across the southern valleys, temperatures are generally above freezing. We've got Hamilton 37, Morris 41, Cooperstown 39, Hessville with 42. The next area of low pressure will be developing along a cold front, and that's going to be the main focus of widespread snow expected tomorrow. Tonight, cloudy skies, overnight lows drop down into the upper 30s. Wednesday, it's cloudy. Most of the day looks dry. We're tracking some rain in the afternoon and evening. Temperatures climb into the low 40s. Rain turns to snow tomorrow night. That's when things get a little slippery, especially after midnight. We're tracking a huge drop in temperature. Snow showers for Thursday morning. Temperatures will be in the teens and single digits. It's going to feel like single digits to near zero by the end of the day, with much colder weather on the way. A general 1 to 3 inches of snow accumulation is expected from Utica and points east to the west. Rome, Boonville, Old Forge, Camden, 3 to 5 inches of accumulation throughout tomorrow night and into Thursday. Cloudy tonight, low of 37. Tomorrow, cloudy skies, rain develops in the afternoon. Temperature is in the low 40s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Cloudy on Thursday, snow showers, an early high of 26. Again, it's going to be really cold throughout most of the day. Friday, temperatures only in the teens. Light snow returns over the weekend. We're back into the 30s Saturday, 20s Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, with much colder weather on the way. We'll be right back.